And we have a choice to make. And I like to say I'm born again every day. Now, don't get me wrong. I believe that God saved me by His grace. When I say I'm born again every day, I don't mean that I'm trying to get saved every day by any means. What I'm saying is I don't want to ever take His grace for granted. I've been in the seat of the prodigal. I never want to go a day without talking to my Father. I never want to go a day without letting His Spirit wash me and cleanse me and fill me. I never want to go a day without being in His presence, because it's a great place to be, you know. And I need His love and His direction and His mercy and His wisdom every day. And I always say I've not arrived till I arrived. You know, sometimes in our Christian circles we've got this highfalutin feeling, you know, man, I'm saved and I'm bound for glory. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say all that's all wrong and everything, because a lot of it's true. But Jesus even said to His disciples, and I think Peter answered him pretty correctly, if and I'm just going from memory, but He said, when the master sits, when the feast is prepared, who sits down first, the servants or the master? And I believe it was Peter who said, the servants. He goes, yes. And He says, when I've done everything that I've commanded you to do, think nothing except to say to yourself, we are unrighteous servants. We've done just what we've been commanded to do. And please don't read anything more into that, or think that God's wanting to keep us under His thumb, because I think Jesus was painting a very significant picture that we're going to get our inheritance. We're going to, just like the prodigal son, he wanted it early. He wanted everything early, and the Father indulged him for a season. But we're going to get a great, great and wonderful inheritance. And we are going to be, like Karen Carpenter used to sing, on top of the world, so to speak. There is a great feast coming. There are great rewards coming. But I choose to take the lowest seat now. I choose to humble myself before my God now, and to try to raise others up by choice, so that I will exalt Jesus, so that I can say this is the one who people should turn to. I've seen, especially in the last 20 to 30 years, that all these men of God, and God does light on them, and God does fill them, and God does do wonderful things in them, but then all of a sudden it's like people start following these men. And then all of a sudden the men fall. I mean, not all of them, but a good percentage of men that have been, you know, godly leaders and sometimes prominent in a huge church, or maybe they got a television ministry or whatnot. They've fallen, and then all of a sudden we're all surprised. But we were never supposed to elevate them to this super high position. It's the ones that we're close to, and that we serve under in ministry, that we know that we're supposed to hold in high esteem. And it's not to say not to hold these other men in high esteem, but we're not supposed to get to the point where we think that they've got something that's more than what we have. It's the same Spirit that works throughout the whole body of Christ. So the man with the church of 5,000, or the man with his great television ministry, if God's with him and he's doing a great thing in their lives, great. But don't think that God's not with you and going to be able to do a great thing in your life too. But even with that and them, we're not supposed to elevate ourselves and think of how great we are, or how great they are, or whatever. But we're supposed to say, look at what God has done. If you go back into the book of Acts, and God was using Peter to heal people even with his shadow. And they almost began to worship Peter. He's like, no, it's not me.